It's actually really nice. Okay, we're going to crack on with our next act now. So please welcome to the stage, Colin Seagrove.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Colin Seagrove. Thank you. By day, I am a chartered accountant. By night, I am a writer of erotic fiction. Not quite sure why that's funny, but fair enough. Well, ladies and gentlemen, something that has been very popular recently is fan fiction. Now, it's a little known fact that 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James was actually started life as Twilight fan fiction, which just goes to prove the old adage, you can't polish a turd. Satire. Another thing that's been very popular amongst that genre is science fiction, particularly Star Wars and Star Trek, which actually inspired my latest writing. Now, thank you. Now, I wanted to call it but because of copyright laws, I couldn't call it either Star Wars or Star Trek. So I thought I'd get around it by combining the two and calling it Star Wars. But they weren't having any of it, so. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, get your lightsabers out and come with me on a sexy voyage to a galaxy quite far away, as I present to you a nude hope. Luke Thighstalker was gazing out of the window of his star cruiser at the vast expanse of space. It was pretty dark out, so he reckoned it was probably tea time. He had barely eaten since the Galactic Rebellion had begun, and his tummy rumbled like an empty sarlacc pit. So he decided to go to the ship's canteen. It was a Wednesday, and Wednesday night was rehydrated shepherd's pie and blue milk, his favourite. He had a quick space shower and put on his favourite space trousers, not forgetting to put on his leather glove, because he was a wee bit self-conscious about his weird robot hand after his dad lopped it off with a laser sword. But in truth, he had no need to be self-conscious. He was 5'6", a little short for a stormtrooper perhaps, but plenty big for other things, if you know what I mean. Because he had a very large penis. He turned to leave when suddenly the doors to his sleeping quarters zhooshed open, and who should be standing in the doorway but the beautiful Princess Labia. Princess Labia was the ruler of the planet Majora until the evil empire blew it up with their massive death moon due to what they called a trade dispute. The rest of the galaxy thought this was a wee bit heavy-handed and decided to fight back in what would become known as the Star War. This would be the first of 9 subsequent wars, yet despite this being the first, they somehow called it number 4. The princess had a pretty heart-shaped face and hair that was so long and thick that she coiled it up at the top of her head like a big Cornish pasty. She had a lovely, posh English accent that would mysteriously change over the series until she sounded like a New York cab driver. Luke gasped at the sight of her. Oh, I wouldn't mind targeting her, womp rat, he thought to himself lustily. There was a warm, excited tingle as his blood rushed to his core, making him feel suddenly light-headed. As I said earlier, he had a very large penis. Seriously, it looked like a sock full of mints. But as quickly as these thoughts had come, Luke had to push them away. They were entirely inappropriate, because he had earlier discovered that Princess Labia was his sister. This sexual pairing simply could not be. Apart from the legal and moral implications, there was also the genetic issues to consider. But then he remembered that his family came from the planet Fife, so the damage was probably already done. So it was game on! As the old saying goes, in for a penny, in for a galactic credit. Without breaking eye contact, she slowly undid her space belt and let her space dress fall to the floor. Luke gasped at the sight of her, his chest tightening, struggling to catch his breath. Either he was becoming breathlessly aroused, or it was just his congenital emphysema playing up again. Congenital. She was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen, although to be fair, the bar was pretty low because he grew up in Fife. He stared back at her, taking her all in, which was pretty easy because she was only wee. Her eyes were two beautiful pools, deep enough to be drowned to drown in. Her lips were soft and full. Her skin was pale and flawless, like a sculpture made of alabaster. And she had the kind of breasts that made you want to jiggle them about for a bit and shout, "Way-hey-hey." As his gaze moved further down, he noticed that she was an all-natural woman. It reminded him of that time when Chewbacca got stuck in a hammock. She gracefully glided. She walked towards him slowly, throwing herself into his reasonably muscular arms. The heat was intense as the limbs entwined. All time lost its meaning as unbridled lust and desire flooded their bodies. The rest of the universe seemed to simply disappear, leaving only two hearts, two souls, and one big Bobby. She beat upon his chest, stared up into his eyes, and begged, "Yes, yes, yes! Make me feel like a real princess!" So he did, and arranged to have her killed in a Parisian tunnel. The end. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed that, I will return with another sci-fi epic based on the Alien series. And this one is called In Space, No One Can Hear You Scream. Thank you. Good night.
Colin Seagrove.